plantar fasciitis, but head coach, he will be good to go. Boston and Juhas with the tip. And a turnover right off the bat for Alana Smith.
The Lynx have been one of the best defensive units in all of the league. They are unafraid to gamble. They have tremendous trust within their defense amongst one another.
Only Seattle is averaging more steals per game than Minnesota. And underneath to Boston, that was a nice look from Smith.
Coach Christy Sides talked to us a little bit about understanding the importance of that ball getting into the paint in earnest for Boston to score or to collapse the defense.
Good look on the baseline, but Juhas unable to get it home. Clark bringing the ball up. Has been terrific so far in the month of July. That rims out. Here's Juhas. Bridget Carlton, she's going to Paris to play for the Canadian Olympic team. Smith will be with Australia, pardon me.
Carlton, a terrific three-point shooter in her own right. The only person shooting better from the three by percentage than her teammate, Kayla McBride.
Clark takes it right to Courtney Williams. We can expect to see different people try to defend her.
Absolutely, but she's really improved in the last month in terms of creating for herself off the dribble.
Yeah, not just a three-point shooter by any means. And Clark second in the league in assists to Alyssa Thomas. Courtney Williams rescues and then shoots it over Boston.
Mid-range master is Courtney Williams again, just like we just saw Caitlin Clark do, able to create her own shot off the dribble, but it's the second chance opportunity that gives her that great look.
Her first year in Minnesota was with Chicago last year, and that's a Boston moving screen for a personal foul.
Yeah, and Kayla McBride in terrific position. As we take a second look, Courtney Williams acknowledging here that Aaliyah Boston is guarding her. That's disadvantage Aaliyah in terms of Courtney's quickness and ability to get that shot up and released.
I love what Cheryl Reeves said. She said Courtney Williams is a high-level talker. On the court, off the court.
The good talking, the bad talking, all of that.
But she really is very impressed with the chemistry on this Lynx team. That's nice. That shows the teamwork.
And you can see it throughout this game. There are a ton of plays like that. You'll see them slip those screens. You'll see them backdoor cut. They trust one another.
Alana Smith with that finish. Here's Kelsey Mitchell. And another steal as Smith got in front of the pass, and she's going coast to coast. Clark fouled her.
I just think Alana Smith and Fever have done really well in the month of July. But Alana Smith doesn't allow her to make that contact. And so with her length and her foot speed, able to create a steal. You mentioned how great this Lynx squad is defensively and in the steal category.
And I 100% agree with you about Alana Smith. Kind of scuffled her first couple of years, didn't get a lot of playing time in Phoenix. Minnesota, her 4th team in 4 years, had a great year last year in Chicago and a better year this year in Minnesota.
I actually went back and looked. There's a backdoor cut. So interesting also, too, to that note, as Caitlin Clark tells her teammate Aaliyah Boston, settle down just a bit. It was a good idea. Aaliyah Boston is sort of the quarterback after Caitlin draws 2 on screens.
K-Mac just a little bit too strong. And Mitchell heads up court with it. How about that? To get by Carlton, and then Aaliyah Boston with the putback.
It's a terrific move by Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston quick to the offensive glass.
That's one of her strengths. 4th in the league in offensive rebounding for Boston, who was the Rookie of the Year last year in this league. Williams gets it inside. Smith was able to save momentarily.
But I like the looking for your teammates at a high level.
And you see the height advantage, Samuelson over Williams, but then she saw Boston inside. Aaliyah's 3 for 3 from the floor.
Excellent execution early on in this one by the Fever.
Now Smith with the 3. This will look effortless. She is off to a blazing start with 9 points.
She's been trying to get off of a little bit of a skid. She's been able to do that in this start.
And then thought she had a block, but instead a whistle.
45.5 points in the paint.
And now look, Melissa Smith at the line after the Alana Smith foul. Melissa only about 58% from the free throw line, but got the first one. Interesting crowd here, right? You got the Caitlin Clark crowd. The Lynx fans are screaming too.
I was just about to say,
they're not going to get outshouted.
It's competitive. It feels like a good balance.
But it is packed. Every seat. 1-point ball game. Williams elevates.
And Courtney Williams is capable of being your microwave type of scorer if she sees that ball going in.
Caitlin, long range. And here comes Courtney Williams. 5'8", but plays taller because she's got such great elevation on her shot. Beautiful. What a bounce pass into Alana Smith, who gets another chance.
Man, we might have to ask our producers to clip off the
on the line this season. We take a look at the upcoming WNBA national TV schedule. Doubleheader Tuesday on Amazon Prime, Connecticut, New York, Chicago, Vegas, on ESPN All-Star Friday night, 9 Eastern time. And Saturday, the game, the AT&T WNBA All-Star game, 8:30 Eastern on Saturday on ABC. It's going to be fun. You got the USA Olympic team, coached by Cheryl Reeve, and the WNBA All-Star.
What a tremendous display of women's basketball.
It's all going to be in Phoenix. Boston's first miss. Caitlin Clark going to be on that All-Star team. Boy, Carlton just couldn't finish.
Unlike Bridget Carlton, who's pretty
fever, and Christy Sides has a conversation with Clark. Smith, guarded by Smith. Now Samuelson nails it.
That's a great shot. And again, patient execution, pace in the half court by the Fever. Credit Alyssa Smith for all of the energy in terms of working in the paint.
Samuelson coming back after giving birth to her daughter almost a year ago. August 4th, she was born last year. K-Mac got it knocked away by Samuelson. And now Mitchell got hit by Williams.
Today's an opportunity for them to respond and get back to the identity that Christine just talked about.
Yeah, Coach Reeve talked about that first and foremost is what she wanted to see improve today. They also only shot 31% from the floor, their lowest in 13 years in that loss to Seattle.
There's a lot wonky in that game. Although credit Seattle Storm, Nneka Ogwumike led the way. Skylar Diggins-Smith had a terrific game.
Carlton. Williams is slow getting up, but appears to be okay for Minnesota. But right now it's 5-on-4 for Indiana. Mitchell, no, and then Smith and Williams have a little laugh, little friendly fire.
Yeah, the pace those last 3 possessions or so, a little bit frenetic.
Bounce pass. And Smith met Aaliyah Boston.
Factor, I had to talk with Coach Reeve a little bit about that. And of course, Natisha Heidemann, a terrific defender. Trying to find her way offensively still this year, but definitely brings energy on that side of the ball, which is key to the identity of the squad.
Yeah, absolutely. Numbers down offensively, but contributes on the other end of the floor. That was a tricky bounce pass that didn't quite connect. And Caitlin Clark back on the floor for Indiana. Caitlin has a couple of points, has yet to get an assist or a rebound in her streak of double-doubles, which is now 5 straight. She also had a triple-double. Another turnover. 5 turnovers. Carlton too strong off the glass. Heidemann taking it right to Clark. Threw it up left-handed. There's Caitlin's first board of the game.
Second time on the right side of the floor, Carlton's just been a little strong on a layup.
Heidemann got a hand on it. Boy, Indiana's lucky to score on that possession.
You see all of the deflections and the energy that the Lynx play with, just unable to capitalize. And Aaliyah Boston, steady, right at the rim, put back.
Boston 4 of 5 from the floor. Indiana on top. McBride wanted it. And just rimmed out, but Carlton gets the offensive rebound. Smith. Maneuvered deftly.
That was tough. The backspin on the basketball, no glass. I thought she was going to go for glass there.
That stops a 7-0 Fever run. And then Smith called for the foul on Boston. Line for the first time today. And this month is about to get even hotter in Phoenix, the place to be. The USA Basketball Women's National Team takes on the 2024 WNBA All-Stars in a matchup Saturday, 8:30 Eastern on ABC. Be sure to tune in. Going to be great.
It's such an incredible display. The Olympic team, the WNBA All-Star squad, Clark, McBride, just to name a few that will be there.
And that's one great thing about when we do have an Olympic year, that's what has been happening in the WNBA.
Loaded up with talent. Can't wait to watch the games in Paris.
Clark guarded now by Xander Lucini. Good length on the perimeter on Kaylin. That is a tough pass.
Wow.
And somehow she got it in.
Man, the pass and the cut, and these are the type of things that this team in particular has to continue to play together. There's no way they could have pulled that off in game 1 of the season. And we've all had the chance to see them grow and learn one another.
And now Xander Lucini hits one over Clark, who's called for the foul.
You know, Pee-wees, we talked about the fan bases dueling. And
Lynx fans certainly remember her when she signed as an undrafted free agent back in 2017 and has perfected her craft overseas and now is back in the league.
She's been terrific for this Lynx squad. She can score in the paint. She can handle the ball. Obviously can knock down the three.
Austin looking for Samuelson and then gets it over to Hull. Wheeler. Shot clock dying. They just get the shot off. Hull misses, and Carlton comes up with it. Anna Lucini with all sorts of moves.
Solid defense there by Hull to hold her ground and make that shot as difficult as possible.
And now Indiana going to try to get the last shot of the quarter. Also out there for Indy. Clark being hounded by Kayla McBride. Step back three at the buzzer. And Kayla McBride did not score in that first quarter. Only 3 members of the Lynx, Alana Smith, Courtney Williams, and Xander Lucini. Cecilia, they were the only 3 that scored. Well, Alana Smith did a lot of that.
Saw, though, McBride, as much as the three-point shooting is the highlight when it comes to her performance this season, that was an example of her strength and ability to score in the mid-range.
Lexi Hull just picked up the foul for Indiana. Caitlin step back. Also misses. Pam Ward, Monica McNutt, and Christine Williamson joining you from a sold-out Target Center. Xander Lucini got it.
Three-point shooting as much a part of this Lynx identity this year as is that defense.
They are second. Only New York hits more threes on average per game than Minnesota. And yeah, boy, Clark is just getting hounded by different defenders. Mitchell, no. One-handed rebound by Smith, who was fouled.
Dorka Juhas attempting to block out there, but Melissa Smith established position and used
formidable post pair for Indiana. Mitchell, a little bit of space.
Ooh, it is a battle in the paint today.
And Melissa Smith's turn to hit the deck. Heidemann shovels it back to Williams. In and out. Dorka, follow.
Coach Reeves, her 4 and 5, and Dorka Juhas and Alana Smith. And of course, you get Nafisa Collier in there when she's healthy. They've just got such terrific hands and touch around the rim. They are so effective in that triangle under the basket.
Minnesota outscoring Indiana 7-0 so far in this quarter. And Dantas ends that. Damiris Dantas, who got a nice round of applause. Good recognition here. That was classy,
really
right?
Very classy. That play, though, has served the Fever really well. We saw Aaliyah Boston score in that same execution.
Williams thought she got fouled. No call. And then Clark just lost the ball.
The execution just comes up a little short.
Carlton just needs that much room.
Do you have the announcements on the three-point contest? Oh, Carlton will be preparing for playing with Team Canada for the Olympics.
That's right, Canada getting back to the Olympics as Melissa Smith is able to hit inside.
Both teams even in terms of second chance opportunities at 6 so far in this basket. Second chance points, excuse me.
Carlton again. Oh, this one.
I think Smith got her fingertips on that one.
And now Smith running the floor. Carlton was able to get a hand on it, and they say it's off Smith. So good hustle by.
Additional possession. Pace is going to be a key in the course of this game, and not just up and down pace, but also the pace and the cadence of the half-court execution. Is that ball popping? Are you getting into your actions quickly to shift the defense?
Heidemann up top, and then around the horn. Everybody touched it on this possession. Zandalicini halfway down, and then Alana Smith was fouled after she grabbed the rebound. Just dream with the possession, right? Everybody touched the basketball for Minnesota.
It's got that snap, crackle, and pop, Pee-Weezy.
That's what you're calling for. Shot clock is winding down. Atlanta. And then the over-the-back call on the rebound attempt. That's on Carlton.
And she caught that basketball.
Tisha Heidemann gets a nice hand as she subs out for Kayla McBride.
She did a terrific job of pestering Caitlin Clark at that guard spot defensively.
As you mentioned, that's what the people recognize. It's not the scoring, it's what she's able to do on the defensive side of the floor, especially against Caitlin. And now K-Mac was on her. Zandalicini draws out assignment, and the inside finish for Smith.
Such a tremendously athletic move. All types of core strength on that one.
It's Indiana back to within 3. Williams elevates and misses everything. Timeout.
She wanted to go into mortuaries because she felt like people should look their best, as that's the last time that families will see them. And I saw her pregame. I said, have you brought the dream to life? She said in Miami she has, in fact. So we'll have to get more details.
Yep. It's a mortuary science. Did some internships when she was still playing here in Minnesota in that. And she is a Miami native. Okay, Mac.
She's been particularly lethal off the catch and shoot so far this season.
She had 8 threes in a game last month. Clark has only 2 points. She has not scored here in the second quarter. The 2 points in the first quarter, her lowest scoring first all year. 1 of 5. The Minnesota defense has been tenacious on her. And now an offensive foul.
Rewarded. She's picked up 2 fouls against Minnesota just out of her defensive effort.
Yep, just the other stuff. Caitlin Clark sitting on the 2 points.
Oh, goodness.
Mitchell left open, and she'll usually make you pay.
That's just the second 3 of the night for the Fever, though. They're shooting 2 of 8 from behind the line.
And Kelsey had missed her first 7 shots before she hit that 3. Alana Smith doing everything.
Quite a game. I went back and looked at the matchups between Smith and Boston, even though they're not primarily guarding one another.
Caitlin 0 for 3 now from distance.
And last year in Chicago, they had quite a display. Both of them put up big-time numbers. Chicago was the victor when Smith was there, but these matchups have been fun.
That time it barely ticked the rim. Hall comes away with the rebound and looks for number 22. Smith, nice attack of the basket. Aaliyah Boston just put that up with one hand, right?
The strength.
That wasn't an optical illusion,
nope,
right?
You
she
saw
did that.
I saw it with you, Pam.
Wow.
What you have to appreciate.
Bounds to go along with 11 points. McBride, quick trigger. Another offensive board for the Lynx. And this time McBride couldn't get it to go off glass, but a couple of opportunities, and Juhas cashes in. Caitlin hit it. Her first 3 of the game.
And her team needed to see a 3 go down. Kelsey Mitchell knocked one in not too long ago, but good to see the point guard starting to get going.
Just the second made basket for Clark today, and Lexi Hall was called for a foul.
Trying to get up the floor and get quality. Look, goodness gracious.
And McBride went down, and then acrobatically put it in off the backboard.
We fall down, but we get up and score.
Mitchell with another miss, boards it, and puts it in.
This is one of the things that Coach Cheryl Reeve wanted to be mindful of. Because the Fever are trying to push so quickly, you've got to be alert defensively. Miss or make, you can't leave folks wide open. Fever have done a good job finding the holes.
Courtney Williams. Everybody thought she was going to shoot.
It's shorts, too.
Like a fit you saw, search what you see using the Google app. Yeah, Fee said it was a friend of hers, her stylist found this micro designer. Is that what you said?
A small designer. Yep.
Sorry, shoot.
We didn't get the name. We were supposed to get it before.
Yeah, but
she got busy.
Looking good, but she is out again. 4th straight game, plantar fasciitis. Minnesota only down 2, even though Clark and Mitchell are not shooting well from the outside.
Yeah, if you're Coach Side, you're okay. I think they've gotten good looks. They just haven't been able to connect. They've executed well. Now, you do wonder perhaps about getting on the glass and creating a few more second chance opportunities, but all in all, it has not been a poorly played game.
That's a 3 for Juhas. Leah Boston, man, that's her 9th rebound. 1 rebound away from a double-double here in the first half.
Goodness gracious, iron unkind for both teams.
Comes out for Samuelson. Carlton into Smith. And she did shuffle her feet. Good job there. Angelica Suffren, Fatu Sissoko Stevens, and Agana Zaza. Worth paying admission to see this Minnesota Lynx team. They're really good this year.
They've been great. They're obviously holding on without their star. 2-1 so far.
Yeah, they're doing this without Collier.
Look, Pee Weezy, I am a fan of 3-point shooting.
Low first half, and we got Lachina, Andrea, and Ari Chambers in studio.
What's up, Ari? Welcome to the studio, girl.
Caitlin off glass.
That's the way she opened the ball game, attacking, keeping her dribble alive, getting back to it, as the shots have been tough to come by.
7 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist for Caitlin. Williams matched up with Boston off the switch. That's a tough shot for Juhas. Oh, and then Kelsey Mitchell couldn't handle it. Heidemann comes in for Juhas. Shot clock is off. Coach Reeve trying to get the last points of the half. Heidemann goes by Wheeler. And then in the corner for the 3. Carlton couldn't nail it. And that WNBA Championships, the U.S. Olympic team head coach as well. This is the second to the last game for both teams before the break. Alyssa Smith counted.
That's great, a great move by Alyssa Smith. Just using her length, that high release point.
Smith on Smith right there, Smith on Smith crying. And Atlanta called for the foul. Here is Melissa. Puts the free throw home. Yeah, Smith so good in that first half with 15 points. Now has 3 personal fouls, however, for Minnesota. First of 3 meetings between these 2 teams this season. 2 of them will be here in Minneapolis, and that got away. Kelsey Mitchell did a good job of basically screening McBride away from getting back to
their head on that side of the ball. So as a team, they are continuing to grow in their defensive effort.
Gamble defensively by Smith did not pay off. It paid off for Melissa Smith. Got 5 points already in this quarter. Carlton left alone and hits it.
You could see Courtney Williams waiting for that to unfold. Waits for the screen action on that left side of the floor. And then here's Aaliyah Boston establishing great position.
Just a little bit too much the first time around, but gets him an extra 14 seconds. Mitchell, good defense by McBride to force that turnover. Smith gives it up to Williams. Minnesota again without Nafisa Collier, their leading scorer and rebounder, out with plantar fasciitis for the 4th straight game. Smith couldn't get it to go. Yuha,
the 2 players with that 20 and 10 mark in terms of 20 points and 10 rebounds, that is.
These are team in steals. Caitlin, nope. Aaliyah Boston, right there.
There's a little bit of a disconnect for Minnesota. They're usually really good in helping in rotation, and Clark is just keeping her dribble alive and really probing this defense.
Bride gets it out to Juhas, who puts it in.
The Fever bench immediately hopped up and signaled travel. I just thought it was a little unorthodox footwork. I don't know that I saw travel.
Yeah. Juhas with 6 now. Samuelson to Clark, who couldn't catch up with it.
We'll take another look at the second-year player, member of the all-rookie team last year. Boop, boop. Okay, yeah, she got away with one there, a little cha-cha.
McBride gets the Smith screen, who asked for the ball back. She gets it and had her shot blocked. Carlton just hit a 3 and hits another one.
When it rains, it pours for BC. 3 of 7 from deep.
An elite 3-point shooter. Broke Maya Moore's single-season percentage record here as a Minnesota Lynx player.
Well, Kelsey Mitchell gets that rainbow to go from the corner, which is actually something that the Lynx do really well in terms of the opportunities they get out of corner shots.
And Mitchell missed 4 of her 5 threes in the first half, but got that one to go, and we're all tied up again. Kicked by Melissa Smith, so we have 14 in this series, even though Indiana has had some issues over the year. So Xander Lassini is in. You know who we haven't seen today is Diamond Miller for Minnesota.
Correct, working her way back from her most recent knee injury. Played in all 3 games prior to this one, but it's so much about matchups, and she's obviously missed valuable time getting healthy.
She played almost 23 minutes 2 days ago in a loss to Seattle. That was way off the mark by Mitchell.
That's what we call a little bit of a heat check. Oh my.
Clark, as Minnesota brought the double on her. Samuelson with a little bit of daylight. Xander Lassini boards it. And Minnesota pushes. Carlton driving on Boston. Now the shot clock in his single digits. McBride into the teeth of the defense, and it just rolled out.
She has really great touch at the rim when she does attack, though.
Yeah, not just a 3-point shooter, certainly. Even though she's really good at that.
Aaliyah Boston here with the opportunity to kind of quarterback. Initially, she looked down to Melissa Smith on that high-low. Here's a double team by the Lynx.
Kelsey Mitchell with the tough shot.
Similar to what we just saw from Kayla McBride. The scoop right at the rim using the glass, and rocketed from June and July compared to how she started the season in May. Her field goal percentage went up almost 10 field goal percentage points.
Oh, Courtney Williams, when she launched that, thought it was going in, and it sure did. Bridget Carlton with 5 assists now to lead Minnesota. Caitlin rims out. Clark with 7 points, 4 assists, and only 1 rebound. Uhas right into a bunch of red jerseys. Candelicini, one-handed floater. Boston continues to clean up on the boards. 13 rebounds to match her points today. Clark behind the back.
Trying to get her team going with the Luna is near doubling up Minnesota in points in the paint, but that's not an area that Minnesota excels anyway with the way that they shoot the three-point ball.
Turnover for Clark as she stepped on the sideline.
Much of that is continuing to learn and grow with her teammates and the chemistry that's required.
Gorka, nice finish. K-Mac with the assist.
But great screen, great roll, and finish by Uhas.
Minnesota on top now by 2. Shot clock dying for Clark. A lot of number 22 jerseys here, and you can see the people almost standing up waiting for the shot to fall. And now they see the turnover. Clark behind the back, and then Zandalicini grabbed her. McBride gets the tech. Free throw to go. And Caitlin Clark's parents in the crowd. They are from West Des Moines, Iowa. Relatively speaking, quite close to Minneapolis. And we've seen Caitlin. We saw this at Iowa, too.
Yeah.
She can get emotional.
It happens. It's a basketball play. Well, it's not a basketball play, but it is the emotions of playing basketball.
She didn't mean to hit her in the face. But she did definitely flail her arm out in frustration. And that's just not going to work. Trying to lob it into Boston. Another turnover for Clark. She is 6. Curtin.
A beautiful jump shot. A beautiful jump shot. Courtney Williams is surveying everything that's happening on the opposite side of the floor, including Kone trying to establish paint position, and just sends that thing to her shooter.
She's got 4 threes today. Indiana has 4 as a team. Hitting over 45% of her threes.
I mean, I was just about to say that, PVZ. The percentage is sick.
Hull. Grab the Clark miss. Caitlin 1 of 8 from 3. Make it 1 of 9. Dantas saved it, but they need a shot. Wheeler. And it stays with Indiana, at least initially. And now the officials are going to talk again, and they've reversed the call. Her team is on an 8-0 run to take a 6-point lead. Their biggest lead of the game was 7 back in the first half.
I'd like to see Indiana get back to some of the executions we saw early in the ballgame. Great pass.
Ooh. Williams unselfish. And a rebound by Kone, who is in for the first time. We got one more game for you before the All-Star break. And it's going to be Indiana. Caitlin Clark and company on Wednesday will be down in Dallas against Enrique and the Wings, 7:30 Eastern. Enrique, 3rd leading scorer behind Asia and Ka.
I heard that the other day watching the Indiana and Phoenix game. I didn't realize it had shuffled. Talia Copper having a terrific year for Phoenix as well. A member of the Olympic team. Congratulations to her.
Absolutely. What a great story she is. Biggest lead of the game for Minnesota. Melissa Smith doubled up underneath. Dantas calmly hits the 3, the former Minnesota Lynx.
The folks here are familiar with her versatility in that regard.
31 years of age, coming back from an MCL. Last played in the league almost 2 years ago.
What a catch by Heidemann.
Heidemann tight-roping it. They need a shot. Bridget Carlton this time inside.
The home cooking, the friendly bounce here at the Target Center in favor of the Lynx.
Bridget Carlton has 11 points in this quarter. Shot clock off for Indy. Wheeler, nope. The Minnesota Lynx opening up the lead, but her team is beating Indiana, and that's exactly what the Fever needed to start the fourth.
That might be one of the more contested looks that Caitlin Clark has gotten tonight, and that's what she knocked down. Like, she clearly just needs a defender right in her face.
10 points, 2 of 10 from beyond the arc for Clark. Carlton's been terrific. Oh my goodness.
I know in the second half she's hit 3 now on that side of the floor. Shooter's dream.
What a game for Carlton. She's matched her season high in scoring. So Indiana gets the ball, or keeps the ball. Samuelson with the screen. And now Carlton guarding Clark, being very physical. That's been what they've done all game. Mitchell with the shot clock expiring.
Now, versus the Mystics in Washington, the Fever trailed much of that ball game, but they got after it in the fourth and really made a push and almost were able to pull it out. This game has been much more closer. What a play by Caitlin Clark.
Oh, goes right to Bridget Carlton, and she blocks it.
What a treat.
Zandalicini into Kone, and now Boston joins the block party. 4 blocks for Aaliyah.
Both of these teams top 5 in the league in blocks per game.
Samuelson nails it.
The Fever are getting hot. This is the same competitive drive and push that you saw late in the fourth quarter in Washington. And Coach Side said to us, I'm trying to show my team who they can be if they give the same and consistent level of energy and effort.
7-0 Indiana run ties it. Zandalicini, fouled.
What a take by Zandalicini.
About 50,000 people in here, because it seems like 25,000 cheer for Indiana, and then the Minnesota fans come and match it, if not go over.
It's a fantastic environment. I mean, Minnesota here at the Target Center has been a fantastic environment for WNBA basketball for a while now, but obviously the traveling folks here to support Caitlin Clark and the Fever add a little competitive balance.
And now, after the Indiana run, there you see, look at all the Clark shirts. Indiana and Iowa shirts.
We were on the elevator coming over, and there were 2 senior gentlemen discussing their plans to come to the game today. One gentleman said he paid $900 for a pair of tickets for he and his wife because it's their anniversary, and they're sitting about 4 rows behind the Lynx bench. And
he brought that up unsolicited, right?
I'm just in the elevator ear hustling. It's ear hustling, fam, not eavesdroppers. And it's an ear hustling in the elevator. It's a small space.
Shot clock dying for Samuelson. Who bought it? Off glass.
Coach Reeves said to us, the Fever are really good. Their top 3 players are really good, and she mentioned Kaylu Samuelson getting her legs back after having a baby last year. This fourth quarter has been a demonstration of that.
Yeah, she says they're good offensively as a group. They're not just a one-woman show. Clark.
Uh-oh.
Buckled Carlton's knees.
Uh-oh.
Shot clock single digits for Hull. Got it knocked away by Courtney Williams.
This one, though, 7 points from their bench units. The 3-point shooting numbers are very similar.
Off the inbounds. Here's McBride. Carlton with 5 threes today. That ties a career high. Gives it to Smith.
Smith making her triumphant return back to the ball game, dealing with those 4 fouls. Had not played for much of the start of the fourth quarter. Let's see if her presence helps to stabilize this Lynx. And she had a terrific game, really, until she picked up that 4th foul.
Minnesota bouncing back on top. Kelsey Mitchell also heating up in the second
The
half.
high arcing from Kelsey Mitchell. That three-point shooting from the month of June, or excuse me, May into June and July, up from 32 to 37.
10 of her 17 points coming in the second half.
37%, I mean, of course.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
Ball ping-pongs up into the air. K-Mac misses the 3.
She was shooting 47% from 3. That one, obviously, maybe a little bit of an outlier, as it was a couple of steps deep from the three-point line.
So Indiana with the 1-point lead and the ball as we approach 5 minutes to go in the game. Clark cut off by Smith. Samuelson, Caitlin, 3-ball. Chased down by Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell attacks and hits.
I just love how deliberate the Fever are in forcing the Lynx to have to close out and rotate. They're going to swing the ball till they find the best look, and then they're on the glass creating second chance opportunities.
Indiana up by 3. Trying to go to Smith, who was held by Hull.
Yeah.
Respect for this Indiana squad.
I think especially with the absence of Collier, right?
Right,
like,
that
she's
hurts.
A monster engine for the Lynx.
Xander Luzzini!
Man, I tell you what, the selflessness has given the Lynx, letting the Lynx rotate till they find an open man. And then Courtney Williams has been great, literally waiting for the load up on one side of the floor and then flinging the passes cross court where Bridget Carlton has capitalized.
The Lynx has led by as many as 8 points, and now all tied up. Kelsey Mitchell. A little long on that shot after she had hit 4 straight. Inside 4 minutes now. Carlton with the drive, up, under, and too much. And then they're going to get Smith for going over the back of Boston. Smith with 3 points in this half after putting up 15 in the first. Clark to Boston, who was challenged by Xander Luzzini and passed out. Rebound Carlton.
Aaliyah Boston's decision-making on that short roll or the hard roll it's just been really good.
Oh boy, Smith was calling for it, but Carlton's pass had a little bit too much on it.
None other than Lexi Hall involved, though.
Yeah, no surprise there.
Yeah,
right?
just gritty as a defender.
Timeout, just over 3.
Sign of growth from this young group. Counter to that, the Lynx have not had such luck in terms of holding on to the basketball.
The Fever with the ball. Clark passed up the long 3. Into Boston, give the assist to Clark with the Boston finish.
We talked about it to open the basketball game over the last month, the connection between the two of them. Aaliyah Boston shooting 58% off of passes by Clark.
Indiana back on top. Carlton looking for Williams now. Gets the screen from Alana Smith, still playing out there with the 5 personals. Xander Luzzini can't get it to go. And Boston with the board, sorry.
Xander Luzzini had Kelsey Mitchell on the block. That was a better opportunity with her height advantage.
Indiana with a chance to make this a 2-possession game. Clark. Samuelson inside, good ball movement.
Really well executed by the Fever. Really well executed. Caitlin Clark keeps her dribble alive.
And her former great All-American player. Hannah McBride's not done.
She struggled from behind the three-point line tonight, just hitting just her second. But when the lights get brightest.
1-point lead for Minnesota. And Clark got fast in getting an SB. Caitlin got one as well. Just such a great year in women's sports. And Asia Wilson's just off the charts, ridiculous.
Otherworldly.
MVP right now.
Otherworldly.
I don't even know who'd be second.
Media day, she took those pictures with her storm fit. She is playing like a superhero.
And Minnesota down 3 after Clark hit the free throws. McBride to tie. Great job by Smith. Hanging in there with 5 fouls to get the rebound. McBride misses again. And now Clark's going to take the air out of the ball a little bit. Yeah, K-Mac is 2 for 10 from 3 today.
You're the best defensive team in the league. You play sound defense in a one-possession ball game.
Clark, as we go inside a minute. Shot clock dying. Samuelson's not going to get the shot off. There's that defense you talked about.
Staying true to...
Carlton with 5 threes, ties a career high. The Canadian also has 7 rebounds and 6 assists. There she is. She will be playing on the Canadian team in Paris, while her head coach here will be the U.S. head coach. Here we go. Big possession with under a minute to go for Minnesota. Smith over to McBride, and she was fouled on her way to the basket. Third foul on Clark. McBride draws the double, and now Smith has to go. What a play! Kelsey Mitchell with the block, and then Boston saved it inside.
Wow.
Kelsey Mitchell, probably the smallest player on the floor, coming up huge.
That is an incredible play by Mitchell. And then the hustle to keep the ball in bounds. I don't even know if Atlanta Smith saw her coming. And then Aaliyah Boston on a career rebounding performance night keeps this play alive. Clock is in favor of the Fever. This is a growth moment for this young squad, without a doubt.
And now Mitchell at the free throw line with the chance to possibly salt this away. That was the 3rd block of the season. Williams looking for somebody to throw it to. Almost a 5-second call. Carlton missed the 3. Caitlin Clark with the rebound. She's fouled. And Caitlin Clark coming in to target center, and she's going to go away with another win.
A big 4th quarter for Clark. The first 14 points scored in the 4th. She scored or assisted on all of those. But truly, Aaliyah Boston tonight, or this afternoon, I should say, an impeccable performance helping to anchor this Fever team.
And Kelsey Mitchell has 21 points.
Oh,
Boston,
the biggest play of the game,
and the
possibly.
block.
Yeah, the block.
17 points and career high 16 rebounds.